my fat burning friends. I recently posted this before and after picture in a Facebook group with this description. Before, insulin resistant, pre-diabetic, more than 100 pounds overweight, smiling, but it was a mask. After, Fung follower, down 100 plus pounds, wearing a belt, real smile, and that is all. It was just a quick post, but I did get a lot of questions from people asking me how in the world I did such a thing. Stick around, I'm going to tell you. Hey, welcome back to my show, 5 on Fridays. My name's Christine. I'm the blogger over at Joyful Keto Life, and today I'm going to talk to you about how I lost over 100 pounds with my keto and intermittent fasting lifestyle. I really wanted to come back here and talk a little bit more about my fasting lifestyle because in my previous video where I discussed the who, what, when, and why of fasting, I didn't really talk about how I incorporate fasting into my low carb lifestyle. So today I will talk about that. And of course, before we get started, just a reminder, I am not a healthcare provider. I am just a super blessed girl who prayed for a way of eating that would heal my body, and I believe I received that miracle when I discovered in January of 2017 the work of Dr. Jason Fung on the Diet Doctor website, and from that day forward my life has never been the same when it comes to my health and wellness. Well, very simply put, how did I find this success? I found this success by strictly adhering to a ketogenic lifestyle and incorporating intermittent fasting in my daily life. Let's talk about 5 things today that I did when I discovered this lifestyle. First of all, the very first thing I did was I immediately ditched the old diet dogma of eating around the clock. The first night I discovered Dr. Fung, I binge watched a ton of his videos on the Diet Doctor website and YouTube, and the very first takeaway I got from those videos was to stop eating when you're not hungry. And guess what? I was never hungry for breakfast, but I was eating oatmeal with blueberries for breakfast every morning because that's what I was told to do. I was in the diabetes prevention program, and as a rule follower, I was told I need to eat breakfast. So every morning I would eat oatmeal, and I have never eaten oatmeal again since the day I discovered keto and intermittent fasting. That was the very first step I took in my fasting journey, which immediately gave me daily fasting of 18 hours because I would finish eating around 6 p.m. and then I wouldn't eat again until the next day around noon. So that's where my fasting journey started. The second thing I did is I immediately ordered Dr. Fung's book, The Obesity Code, off of Amazon. It took 2 days to get there. So in that time, I devoured as much as I could off the Diet Doctor website as well. And I decided to jump right in with their 2-week keto challenge. So I guess that's 2 second things that I did. Ordered the book, The Obesity Code, and did a lot of research on the Diet Doctor website, which all goes back to my very first hard and fast rule of starting a new lifestyle, where you have to learn the science, learn the science, learn the science, so you can apply the science and change your life. All right, the third thing I did to start off my fasting and keto lifestyle was I figured out a routine that would work for me. There is so many different options with this lifestyle. You can choose time-restricted eating, which would be like an 18-6 schedule. You could do alternate day fasting. You could do 16-8 fasting. You could do 3 times 42 hours of fasting. You could do 3 times 36 hours of fasting. It all depends on what your body needs. I know if you're not familiar with fasting routines yet, this is probably really confusing to you. 3 times 36, 3 times 42, alternate day fasting, intermittent fasting, time-restricted eating, which is why you have to spend the time learning about this. In the meantime, I did explain this all in a blog post that I did a while back, but I included my fasting schedule in a chart format, so it's like easy to see. I'll drop a link below for that blog so you can check out what I did. Basically, my favorite fasting routine ended up being 3 times 42 hours weekly. And what that meant was 3 days a week. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I would not eat. I would eat Sunday night dinner, be done by 6 o'clock, for example, and then I wouldn't eat at all on Monday, and then I would break my fast on Tuesday around noon. So that gives me 42 solid hours of fasting. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I typically followed a time-restricted eating schedule of 18 hours of fasting and with a 6-hour eating window. So that means I was eating lunch at noon, dinner at 6 on Saturdays and Sundays. This schedule worked awesome for my social life too, because on Mondays I had an exercise class, so I would be at work all day. I would come home and have just enough time to change for class, and then I would be out the door, really not leaving any time to prepare and eat dinner. And then on Wednesdays, during this weight loss journey part, my kids were not home on Wednesday nights because they were at church, so I didn't need to worry about having a meal prepared for them. And then on Fridays, I just dedicated that day to keeping myself busy, getting stuff done around the house on Friday evenings. It was a great fit for my lifestyle at the time. The fourth thing I did with my fasting lifestyle is I learned what I needed to incorporate to stay healthy and mentally clear and safe during my fasting times. This means you have to take the time to learn about your electrolytes and what you may or may not need to supplement with. I chose to supplement with magnesium based on my blood test results, and I also always made sure to keep up with my salt intake during my fasting days. Well, actually, I keep up with my salt intake every day because salt is important, and I'm sure I'll talk about that in a future video. Okay, and the fifth and final thing that I suggest that I learned to do as I started my fasting keto lifestyle is learn how to listen to your body. When your body is telling you that it has to eat, you need to eat. Don't be stupid and try to continue some crazy long fast just because that's what you feel like you need to do. There was lots of days when I was in my 42-hour fasting routine where I just didn't make it. I stopped fasting at 24 hours. I stopped fasting at 30 hours. I stopped fasting because my body was telling me it was time to eat. However, that being said, the 3 times 42-hour schedule worked really well for me because, first of all, I had a ton of fat to burn. I was 100 pounds overweight, keep in mind. And second of all, because I eat a ketogenic diet, it goes easily hand in hand with a fasting lifestyle. I'm sure you're all familiar, if you eat a high carb diet or standard American diet, that you are going to have crazy sugar swings as your blood sugar dips up and down throughout the day, and you could get hangry. I mean, I'm sure you all remember that feeling, or you're still having those feelings. I highly recommend, if you are looking for weight loss success, that you partner keto and intermittent fasting together, or intermittent fasting with a low carb lifestyle. It helps you to become fat adapted, and it 100% helps control your appetite and keeps the hangries away. Bottom line, choosing a ketogenic way of eating and incorporating an intermittent fasting lifestyle, which, by the way, I did switch up quite often because even though I liked the 3 times 42-hour fasting schedule, sometimes you just need to switch it up a little bit to keep your body guessing what's going on so you can keep that fuel burning in your body, burning up that fat. Keto and intermittent fasting, that's how I lost over 100 pounds. And now, what do I do with my keto and fasting lifestyle? Well, let's save that for the next video, and I'll tell you what I'm doing in maintenance. I hope I've inspired and convinced you a little bit that maybe a low-carb lifestyle with periods of not eating will help you find your weight loss and healing success. Thanks for watching today. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would be so appreciative if you would click the link in the corner. And all my socials are listed down in the comments. I look forward to hearing from you, and as always, enjoy your weekend and don't forget to choose joy. Bye.